Hello, have you come across the news about Piers Corbyn? Piers Corbyn is the brother of Jeremy, the erstwhile leader of Her Majesty's opposition. The man who probably single-handedly has done his best to make sure that Labour is unelectable for quite a long time. Anyway, Piers Corbyn. I know Piers. I keep bumping into Piers often, and today there's a story about Piers being particularly odd. Now he is odd. He's odd, charming, and he goes on and on and on, and he's always interesting. I can't say I agree with very many of his views and very many of his ideas, but they are always interesting. And, the world is not going to be a worthwhile place unless we listen to people with views that we don't share. We can learn something, we can change our mind. What is it? John Maynard Keynes, that amazing economist, said, I change my mind when the facts change. When the facts change, I change my mind. And I like to think I change my mind when somebody more interesting puts forward a more interesting idea. We should be open to that. And Piers has been extremely open. What he says he's been is naive. So, two people approached him and they were concerned that he was criticising the vaccine AstraZeneca as part of his campaign, Stop the New Normal. And they gave him a bundle of money in a brown envelope, deeply dodgy, apparently £1,000 or £10,000 or something. God knows how much money it was. Anyway, it was a sizable wad in an envelope. And he must have looked at it, and at some point during the conversation, he changed the envelope for a wad of Monopoly money. He says he got home, opened the envelope, and laughed out loud. He said that he thought these two boys wanted to help. He also said that he thought that it was a frame-up in Sloane Square where they met. Now, the problem is, I just think it sounds not only naive, but extraordinarily clumsy to accept a wad of money from somebody that you don't know, particularly if you are the brother of the former leader of the opposition. It just seems foolish. And it seems to me that this is the sort of thing that could probably end Piers Corbyn's credibility, even if he had some. I cannot see how he can go out now and honestly campaign for whatever thing he wants to advocate, in the knowledge that people know. So people know that he will accept brown paper packages tied up with string full of Monopoly money. Piers will say what you want him to say for the right sum. He says he never agreed to primarily criticise Moderna and Pfizer and not to criticise AstraZeneca, but that is certainly how it was presented. He says that the video was heavily edited. Well, of course it was heavily edited, because if you've had a conversation with Piers Corbyn, I have, utterly charming, but it goes on and on and on. And of course you need to edit it. This was a video, it's very entertaining. It's made by Josh Pieters and Archie Manners, and it's worth watching. It's also worth watching Piers Corbyn's defence. But how does he come off from this? He comes off as dodgy. Fundamentally dodgy. And I think the people who I want to be leading a campaign, I think whatever the campaign is for, I don't want to think that they're doing slippery deals in the back room and taking wads of money. This is just deceptive and dangerous. And he's being caught out. So, I'm sorry, and also, his defence, it's all about him. It's all about him. This isn't a man who's interested in AstraZeneca or the vaccine. This is a man who's interested in Piers Corbyn, let's be frank. Now, look, please, if you do follow me and do ring the bell and let me know what you think about this story. I may have got it wrong, but I'd be really interested. If you've met Piers Corbyn, I would love to know more about your impression of Piers. As I say, I think he always comes across as deeply charming and always interesting. But now, I think it's the end of his career. Sorry.